Before your business develops a lot of bad debt with clients and your accounts receivable skyrocket, a lot of times you can anticipate this by seeing if any of your volume clients are also in financial distress. This is Dave at AFX Search, licensed investigators. A lot of times we're brought in by a company to try to catch if a business has liability for their volume clients being in distress. If you catch it before there's obvious signs, you can protect yourself as a business from having a lot of bad debt. Usually the first sign of one of your clients going south is that their payables and your receivables will become delinquent, and their paying of 10 days and 15 days will become 30 and 45. Your 30-day invoices will become 2 and 3 months. A lot of times there's excuses made, and usually by the time you catch it and put the brakes on it, you may have built up a huge accounts receivable of bad debt from a client. Many cases, it's usually worse with a volume client. It's somebody who you rely on in your business as a big source of revenue, and you don't want to put the brakes on them too quick because it's an important client for you. It's more important to catch this in advance with a volume client. So how do you catch it in advance? Well, here's a couple things that we'll look at in an investigation. Some of this you can do yourself. First of all, do they have a new checking account? In many cases where we've seen a bad debt receivable increase, if you go back in time 6, 8, 12 months, we'll have seen that the bills they do pay come from a new checking account. They may have burned a relationship with a bank. They may have created a new checking account so that the money that does come in is firewalled away from what they're trying to pay bills on, and it won't bounce checks on their main account. Do they have a new address? If a company, if you look at their payables, at their checks, at their invoices, do they have a new physical address? Check to see if that's bigger or smaller. A lot of times, same thing. We find out a company has bad debt. We're trying to do asset search on that debtor. We find that a year before they moved to a smaller location, or maybe what appears to be a bigger location, but split up into other companies. Sometimes we find that they've subleased their office. Do they have a new contact employee? A lot of times when a company's going into a distress situation, they'll be laying people off. They may lay off their bookkeeper. They may not have as many people in accounting. So there may be a new person handling their affairs for them. Sometimes it's the owner themselves will be the contact person. That's a bad sign. Check public records of principals. This is something that we'll do on a regular basis. We'll talk about that in a minute. Do the principals of the company, even the general manager, even corporate officers, look in public records to see if they have liens, if they have judgments, if they're having any notice of default on their personal homes. Any client that is 10% or greater of the total volume of a company, we recommend an annual audit of that client to see if there's any distress there. If it's over 15% of the total revenue, we recommend a semi-annual every 6 months. If you have a client that's over 20% of your total revenue, you probably want to do a quarterly audit of that company to see what their situation is, what the situation is of their principals. That's a good indication of what's going on inside. The costs are relatively low to do this. It does add an expense, but it will keep you from having one of your volume clients ramp up their business, because a lot of times if you're giving them credit and other places have shut them off, they'll shift more business to you. It'll seem like it's a great thing, but a lot of that revenue that you are booking may not ever become payments because they're shifting their liabilities to you as a creditor who's giving them good terms only because they have no other place to finance their business. Payables is a great way to finance a business. So do some of these audits. It'll keep you from becoming financially distressed yourself if you're relying on one client, especially if your profitability is limited. You don't want to burn it all on payables and bad debt. If you have any more questions about these audits, you can reach us at our website, afxsearch.com.